Okay, what I need you to do right now is focus on the knees, not the crutch. I said not the crutch. Look at that, take it in. Make a mental note of that, because in 10 hours time, I'm going to be very interested to see how those knees look. And not necessarily in a good way, especially not for the right one.
Open, folks. The galley is definitely open. Hot drinks, cold drinks, hard drinks, soft drinks, everything in between. Some spectacular coffee, some melt in your mouth, awesome muffins, better than Grandma used to make. Plenty of tasty toasties, all made here locally in Triabunna. The breakfast rolls are incredible. And of course, folks, never too early for a beer on a boat, I reckon. Got one in front of me now. No, just joking. Enjoy the cruise across. Any questions? Come and say hello to one of your friendly, fabulous and freakishly good looking crew. Welcome aboard.
Here we are, Maria Island. Not to be confused with Maria Island for the uninitiated. I've gone through about half a dozen people on the journey to now saying Maria this, off to Maria, can't wait to get to Maria. And yeah, that first half dozen didn't bother to correct me until I got to the 7th person and they said, oh, you mean Maria? Oh, local people, just correct the person when you hear them saying it wrong on the first instance to stop them from getting to the next 5 people where they mispronounce it in front of them and make a fool of themselves. Anyway, Maria Island is where we're at. Today's hike is an 18-kilometre whopper. Well, it's a whopper when you're carrying 2 camera bodies and 2 fairly beefy lenses with you, or 100-400, that's beefy. This old piece of machinery here, which I have no idea what it was related to, but there was a number of different agricultural works that happened on this island in the mid-19th century by an Italian entrepreneur. I don't think things in the end worked out too successfully, but the remnants of what was here, including a cement works, of which there are 4 large silos down by the wharf still in existence today. I think one fascinating element to the indigenous story here was the way in which they went about building canoes to sail the Channel Strait or paddle the Channel Strait. But at the Pennicott Wilderness Centre on South Bruny Island in Adventure Bay, you will find a great example of one of those stringy bark canoes. Really fascinating to take a look at. There's heaps and heaps of history here to talk about. But one thing I do want to talk about is this. Oh no, I've just wrecked the prop. Look at this, this is marvellous. You're just going to love this. This is just all at my feet. I didn't have to set this up. This is not pre-propped or anything. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Recycled grass. Beautiful. Is the AF servo tracking that into the hands. That there is a beautiful clump of wombat poo at its finest. That is just recycled grass straight back into the soil. And the absolutely marvellous thing about that is that there is cubes of wombat crap as far as the eye can see, which is a fantastic indication of just how healthy this island is for all sorts of wildlife. This island is somewhat of a bit of a Noah's Ark, so Cape Barren geese, importantly the Tasmanian devil, which has been suffering from this well-known facial tumour that is actually contagious for the species. So this, in amongst other animals that were rated as endangered, acts as a sanctuary for breeding those populations back up to a healthy number and reintroducing back into the wilderness areas over on the mainland here in Tasmania. Bit of a funny thought really. We're on an island, off an island, off an island. Maria Island, Tasmania Island, Australia Island. We got islands everywhere. Don't suppose you can hazard a guess as to which way the wind tends to blow on this easterly shoreline of Maria Island. Don't mind me, just doing a bit of calisthenics. This, I imagine, is the Bishop and Clerk behind me. What an outstanding view over the old fossil cliffs down here, named after Sam Newman. No, not really, but the fossil cliffs down here is something that I just walked straight on past. Would have loved to have gone down there, but I'm trying to make up a little bit of time if it's possible, because at the back end of the day, my preference over the fossil cliffs is to get over the other side to the painted cliffs and catch some of the afternoon sun just streaming down on some of those beautiful ochre colours. So tell me, can you see the Bishop and Clerk? I'm starting to wonder whether I know what a Bishop and Clerk actually looks like. Oh, mother of pearl. Look at that extravagant view. Getting sweaty. Feels good. Feels real good. You can see here now the Oyster Bay Nation people certainly had no shortage of building material for their stringy bark canoes. Stringy barks strewn and intermingling with she oaks on this early part of the ascent up to the Bishop and Clerk. It's a warm day and you just get the smell in the nostrils of that eucalyptus oil starting to evaporate into the air. Beautiful perfume. It's the bushwalker's scent of choice. Don't worry about that. Look at this. This is the rock scree right before we get to the steep part of the Bishop and Clerk. In an S&M kind of way, I've been looking forward to this, especially shouldering the big gun here. The big gun. Gonna regret saying that. Why have all these rocks come together in congregation like this? I ask you, Lord, what is happening here? And again, apologies if you're an archaeologist looking for answers. You are absolutely on the wrong channel for that. That's where I need a little Park Tas information board just out of screen left, and I can bring all the answers to the viewer. Anyway, Google it. Someone out there in internet land will have blogged about this rock scree. They'll have all the answers for you. Unfortunately, that's just not part of my intellect. I'm getting close now. I can smell that sea salt air just blowing in over the Bishop's Head, wherever that is. There's nothing quite like consuming sugars right after you've burnt a few. Guilt-free lolly eating. How are the sound effects? This view that I'm about to share with you looks back towards the old convict settlement and the old Italian entrepreneur of the mid-19th century cement works, which is also positioned by the wharf, and heads across the channel to Triabunna and Orford in the bay. And this is essentially the start of the east coast of Tasmania. Check out this view. Well, I couldn't see what I was filming there, so forgive me if the horizons were a bit off centre. It's 22 degrees. Look at those leaves, they're not moving. There's barely a breath of wind, and when there is, it's quite refreshing. Just a gorgeous Tasmanian day. I am going to make a quick descent off the Bishop and Clerk here, and they are somewhere up here in amongst these rocks once I get someone to point out which shape makes a bishop and which makes a clerk. But I need to get down in an hour, and then I'm hard pressed for an hour to get to the Painted Cliffs and back. Gonna give it a crack. Gonna be doing a lot of downhill running here in amongst rocks. This could be the most dangerous part of the trip. If the Painted Cliffs doesn't come about, well, I've bloody enjoyed this trip, that's for sure. It's gonna be right up there on the Get Terry Richter scale. Well, that's Maria Island. What can I say about Maria? It's an 8 out of 10 Terry walk, that one. It's got a bit of everything. It's got paleontology, it's got geology, it's got archaeology, it's got rockology. Have I said that bit? It's got a lot of ology going on. It's got a lot of good things. My only regret, oh, the suspense, is not staying overnight. Too hard to do in the current situation with the family over. Could only afford a day trip, but missed out on seeing fossil cliffs and the Painted Cliffs, and also getting around some of the old structures from the convict era and a few of the indigenous sites that are on that side of the island. Can't have it all your own way sometimes, but it was beautiful scenery, a bit of wildlife. That's the other thing. You've got to really stay overnight to see the wonder that is the natural fauna that is present on the island. As it was said earlier, it's a Noah's Ark for many endangered Tasmanian animals that are now repopulating the wild populations on the mainland. Wombats are plenty, and these are some of the things I missed out by doing the day walk, which was roughly between 9 AM and 4 PM. So if you're going over to Maria, really consider the overnighter. It's well worth the investment. Cheers. Got a little bevy here of Cascade. And just to be fair, one for the north as well. Bogues, of course. Get Terry and get outdoors.
All aboard!